Yo guys, what is up? This is a pimp and I'm coming at y'all with a battle. And today this is versus Light. So yeah, I decided to go out with my hair cross and she decides to lead off with a Azelf. So, I was kind of fearing a sidekick, but not really. But she decides to go for the nasty plot, and I was really happy when I seen that. Megahorn should take it out, and I was like, yes, here's a 6-5 lead. But of course not. She just has to have a focus sash to keep her living. But it really don't matter because obviously next turn she's going to go for a psychic. And, my balls are coming out of there because my balls don't want to get no psychic. So I go into blue. Um, and since it's dark, yeah, psychic ain't going to do nothing to it. So I go for the sucker punch to take out the Azelf. As next turn, she decides to bring in a Rachi, and yeah, he gets T-waved. Ain't really too big of a deal. But here was probably the worst part of the match for me. I'm going for the Swords Dance because I knew if I could get maybe 2 Swords Dances up, I could finish this Drachi off with 1 Sucker Punch, and I would win the match no problem. But, of course, that's not going to be how it works. I get 2 Thunderbolts, and I knew I was going to die this turn, so I just went ahead and went for the Sucker Punch here. She goes for the Iron Head. If I'd have known that, I'd have probably tried one more Swords Dance, because obviously I'm going to live that one. I go for the Sucker Punch again, but it fails as she goes for the Wish. And that kind of made me sad, but not too much, because, I didn't really expect to do a whole lot with him unless I get the Swords Dances up. And she goes for the T-Wave. I don't know why, because I'm not going to switch something out that's Thunderbolt and only has like 2 HP left. And this turn I get paralyzed as she goes for the Iron Head to take it out. Yeah. So here I go into my Charizard, the Midnight, and then I switch out and go into my Zapdos, the Rape. And I think I'm going to have to redo this Zapdos because it has Lightning Rod, but I didn't realize that I couldn't put Heat Wave on it, so I got to make a new Zapdos. Sorry about that to everyone that I've played. I just realized that. But yeah, I go for the T-Bolt here because I figured she was going to switch out, and it hits the Suicune. Luckily, she didn't bring in anything else because that really helped me out. This turn she goes for a Protect, and yeah, that's kind of sad because I really thought I was going to be able to take it out this turn, but I guess not. So my Zapdos is poisoned, and it always seems to be Zapdos that gets the statuses, but whatever. She played on a lot of luck like I used to, and then I realized that it was funner to not play with stuff like that. But yeah. So here she goes to the Breloom, and I use a T-Bolt. So yeah, it was kind of good there. Not really, because it didn't do very much at all. But it happens, So the Toxic takes it, and I get, yeah, the Toxic and everything. So I can't really do too much. But she brings in her Blaziken, and she told me like halfway through the match that, oh, my Blaziken's speed boost to Uber, and I was like, oh, that's nice, but whatever. So I was fine with that because I figured it couldn't do too much. But I really didn't figure she was going to use like the Protect and just kind of boost it up and boost it up. But she did, and it really didn't matter too much because, she brought the Uber, but yeah, you'll see when it happens. So she gets 1 speed boost, and I think she's at +1 now, and she blaze kicks my Zapdos. So it rapes down. Um, That's my second guy down, and it's now a 5-4, I think. So I bring out my Deoxys, and I go for um, Toxic here. And I think she knew that I was going to do that. Luckily, it scared her out because Blaziken could have definitely taken this guy out. But I get the Toxic off on the Togekiss. And yeah. So, no, I got the spikes up. I thought, okay, never mind. I scared her off with the Toxic. That's what I'm. Yeah, I remember now. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but I get my second layer of spikes up here. And I just realized in this right here that this isn't a Serene Grace Togekiss, which is kind of weird, but I guess it's not. So there's my third layer of spikes, and that really helps me out because that just takes a lot of stuff out. Like, not really a lot, but I wouldn't have been able to take some of the stuff out if it wouldn't have been, if you know what I mean. Um, so, yeah. Here comes the paraflinching crap, and yeah, it's just not good. So I think I switch out here, yeah. So I switch out here and I go into my Suicune. Um, he uses another air slash and it don't do what I thought it was gonna do to it. I use the ice beam. I think I get a crit here, maybe. Not really. I can't really remember. Yeah, I get the crit, and he goes for an aura sphere, and she thought it was ice type here because she wrote me and she was like, "Oh, that should have took Suicune out. He's ice," and I was like, not really." So yeah, she brings out the Blaziken as I go for another ice beam, and here's where I was talking about. Um, since she brought the Uber, I thought it was. I didn't really think that it mattered that I got the freeze because you know what? You shouldn't have brought the Uber. So yeah, here I go for the Hydro Pump, and it takes this Blaziken out. Obviously, because it's not at maybe 35% HP left, and Suicune is standing out there like a beast. So yeah, she brings in Hirachi, and I go for the Hydro Pump. I'm pretty sure, just to see how much damage it can do. And I figured Suicune was gonna die anyway, so I might as well go for one. But I get the flinch hacks, so it didn't work out the way I thought it was going to. But at this point, I knew that it was going to die, and she kept just using different moves for some reason. But I get the burn here, and I guess that's okay. But, whatever. Hydro Pump gets it, and it does enough to where I'm happy with it, but probably not as much as it should have done, but whatever. I was happy, but most people probably wouldn't. So Suicune's out, and I go into my Midnight again. I go for the Fire Blast. Yeah. As you can see, it don't hit. If it would have, this battle would have been a lot shorter, and I would not have to worry. So here I knew I was gonna have to switch out, so I go into the Deoxys, and yeah, Deoxys gets the pressure and everything, so whoop-de freaking do. And it failed the first attack, and here I know that if I get hit with 2 stars, I'm going to die. So I did the smart thing, and I go for the recover after all this crap. So it does surf, and I'm like 41 HP left. I get the recover off, and yeah, I'm pretty happy, so happy about that, because I would have been a lot more scared if I wouldn't have at the end of the battle, which, yeah, you guys will see. This is one of those battles that I had to speed up. I forgot to tell you that at the beginning. Just due to the fact that it was like a 17-minute long battle. After I speeded it up, it was only 14. But, yeah. So the Rachi comes in on the Toxic, unfortunately, so I cannot get off the Toxic. But I think that I go... Um, here, yeah, go for the stealth rocks because I figured that I really didn't know what was coming in next. I really, like, I forgot, like, some of her team. So I thought it would be a good idea to just kind of get the rocks up in case it was a flying type, because then that's 90%, like 25% dead, and that would be really helpful. So she goes for the Iron Head here as I went for the recover, but I get paralyzed. Of course, she got so much hacks, but you know it's okay because the freeze hacks kind of made up for it, probably more than what it should have. But oh well, that's not my fault. Um, so I come back into midnight and I go for another fire blast, and guess what? There's a repeat Charizard. Or wow, I'm sorry. I come in on the T wave, unfortunately, and Charizard gets paralyzed. Um, it was a really bad play on my part. So yeah, Iron Head comes and yeah, the Iron Head he gets paralyzed off the Iron Head, and he switches out this turn into his Suicune again. Unfortunately, my freaking Fire Blast misses. Yeah, so I have to switch out here. And I knew that if the Suicune came back in, he was dead. So I kind of figured I might as well just let Deoxys do its thing, if you know what I mean. Deoxys got its thing going on over here. And yeah, so um, I think I go for the Toxic again. Or no, I switch out this turn. I forgot it. Yeah. I bring in my balls, and my balls is gonna come out here and stand up to a surf. The balls is gonna float up above the surf, and he is going to be like, you know what, you whore, suck off, because balls is out here not playing around. I go for the Mega Horn because I figured he would bring in Jirachi right after this, and close combat wouldn't do like yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Mega Horn would do more to Jirachi than a close combat would. So he brings out his Togekiss, and it's almost dead. So I go for another Mega Horn, and I hit. So now Heracross is going to be +2. And right here, I thought, oh, this match is mine no matter what, because you know Heracross is going to come in here and it's going to rape some people. Plus, it's a +2 with the Moxie boost, and I love this Moxie Heracross. It just rapes. So he brings in the Rachi, and I thought I was doing pretty good, but it outspeeds me, and I was kind of sad. But it's all good because you know whatever. Um, sorry about that, guys. Um, but yeah, so you know this is kind of taking forever. But I bring in my Charizard, and I wrote to her. I was like, "Here we go. This is either gonna be really good for me or really bad for me." Because I have a Deoxys left, and I would not have been able to take out the Jirachi with Deoxys if Charizard would have died. So my Charizard gets Iron Head. It keeps flinching and all that crap. So, but this time it did not flinch, and I got off the Fire Blast, and she's like, "Oh, it's gonna live, it's gonna live, it's gonna live," and I'm like, "No, no, it's definitely not gonna live." So it's dead. And here's his last Pokemon that I was kind of fearing, and oh my God, it's a Breloom with Toxic or that Poison Heal. So yeah, I would have been screwed. But as you can see, the Leaf Blade's not going to take out Charizard. I Fire Blast for the win. And yeah, rate, comment, sub, guys. Don't forget to tell everyone you know about this. So, peace.